Hello and welcome to The Positive Principle. My name is Max Ryan, and we are so glad that you are here today to take this journey with us. We are on episode 5 of an 8-week journey where we are taking 4 people for 8 weeks and changing their lives to the better, the way better. The Positive Principle is all about teaching the cast members here, who you'll meet for a moment, in just a moment, and you, the audience, we will teach you these positive principles so you can change your life for the better. And what we say for the better is actually really getting more in line with who you are and following all of your intuitions, following your passions, and creating a vision for your life so you can actually feel that when you are walking through your life that you have a purpose, that what you're doing means something, that you're connected with your love, that you're connected with your peace, so that by the time that it comes to the end of your journey here, you say, okay, this is good. I felt good about the time I've spent here. I felt like I have done what I needed to do, and I'm on to the next phase of my journey. So welcome to The Positive Principle. My name is Max Ryan, and I can't do this alone, first of all, because, I'm only one person. We've got 4 cast members. We've got an extra big sister here, but my colleague is amazing, and her name is Polly Wyram. Hey, Polly.
Hi, Max. Hello, everybody. So a little bit about myself. I am an intuitive life coach, and I love exploring the magic of life with people, and just all the possibilities that we all share in our life. And I have to tell you, these amazing cast members that we have, I've fallen in love with them. I've fallen in love with their stories, and I really like the connection that has developed, and even like the people that are regularly watching our show. And it really just shows how we are all connected, and there's just this really special, there's miracles happening all the time. And since we get to talk to them on a regular basis, we know all the little nitty-gritty things that are happening in their life. And it's amazing, and I'm so excited for them. So back to you, Max.
So, Polly, what is your website again, so people, if they want to get in touch?
Thank you, Max. It's gateways2peace.com. And the reason I have that is I really feel, one of the things I'm passionate about is we can all live our life in peace. We can all let go of things and really connect to being in a place where life is easy. And I like helping people find that spot.
Yes, very good. Thank you. And it's Gateways, the number 2 piece, right?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Great. And my name is Max Ryan. I'm the creator and founder of AttractPositiveResults.com, where I help people move in their life from an orientation of stress and fear and anxiety and negative results, really, to an association of joy and flow and love and attracting positive results. Say yes if that sounds good. And I also am an author. This is my book is Say Yes If. It's a 30-day program to help you to really transform your life by transforming your mind, because everything that we talk about here, not everything, but most of it starts with our mind. So I have been a teacher and a student of A Course in Miracles for over 30 years, and I also work with law of attraction and other of the great spiritual truths so that we can really move, as I said, into, very much like Polly said, to an orientation of peace and love. And so anything that you want to know about me, you can go to AttractPositiveResults.com and make sure that you sign up for my 5 videos that are all about helping you with law of attraction. And they're really good, I have to say. They're great. So that is me in a nutshell. So let's talk about the show, Polly.
Thank you. And I have to say, Max is a fabulous teacher. And one of the I love working with him, and he's an amazing teacher. And one of the things that I've found, because I have a group and I interact with a lot of people, is there's almost like you can think of like a new concept that people are really grabbing hold of. People want to find this peace in their life. And I'm telling you, it is in all walks of life. I mean, the group that I hold in Anchorage, I have people of all professions. And so, like like I often say, it's not just people that are, wearing the robe and walking with the staff now that are looking for the answers of life. It's all over. And that's one of the things about this show that I love is its audience participation. And so you can watch the show, you can email questions in, you can read the blogs of the cast, and they're really sharing, they're being very vulnerable. And I have to say, the people that I come in contact that are talking about the show and how they can relate to each cast member, I really appreciate that. And people love Max's ability to teach. And somebody forwarded us an email, and it's somebody who has not contacted directly the show. They're just watching the show. And so I'm going to read to you a brief little something that they sent to somebody else and was forwarded to us. So it says, I have been taking the journey with the cast on Max and Polly's show. I have been following along with the blogs and viewer resources. I knew I wanted to change. This show is giving me new insight and exactly what I need to find my way. And that's exactly it. This can help everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. That's so beautiful. When I got that, actually, that was forwarded from one of my friends through Facebook I've known for quite a long time, and she was like, Max, I have to send this to you because she just mentioned the show to one of her friends, and this friend has been following the show, and I've gotten private comments about it, about people following the show a lot, and that's the reason that we really did the show, Polly and I did the show, was that we wanted to be able to have you interact with us. So if you go to the positiveprincipalshow.com, you go to the viewer resources, you go to every single cast member has a blog there that every week they are putting something up. I really encourage all of the listeners and all the viewers, to comment about what your experience is. It's really, 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 I always believe you get out of something what you put into it. So it's nice to sit and watch, but we've created all of this interaction for you. There are polls to take on the website, all of that stuff. And what I like to say is the concept that when Polly and I brought this up and we started to say, what do we want to do here? I said, it is the marriage of Oprah's Super Soul Sunday and The Voice. So it's really fun, and the way that the show works is that I am a professional coach, and so is Polly, and so we've separated the four people into two teams, and the two teams were switched last week. We're going to talk about that. So I am now working with Mary Beth and Heather, and Polly is working with Jack and Angelica, and we're following everyone's journey. So we invite you to come along the journey because there are so many resources for you, and all of the stuff that Polly and I do, you can have access to that, and we just want you to be able to gain any kind of knowledge. And in all these 8 weeks, if there's one nugget that you take away, that's worth it, because sometimes on your journey in life, you just need that one thing that makes you go, I got it. So if all these 8 weeks and these 8 hours and all the viewers' resources, if they give you one nugget, you know what, Polly, our job is done, right?
It is done, and I'm really excited. I have to say I'm really excited about, I just feel like this great momentum is kind of happening. People are waking up and looking for answers and using what they're finding, and I love that, and it's making life more magical. People are stopping and paying attention, and I really appreciate that.
I love it. So listen, you know what? We've been talking about the cast the whole time, so let's introduce this cast that we love so much. So I'll introduce who's on my team first. Hey, Heather, how are you?
I'm doing great, Max. How are you? Doing really well. Really
great. Heather, where are you calling from? Where are you hanging out right now?
Okay, right now I'm hanging out in the backwoods of Kingston, New Hampshire.
I love it. Can you tell us one thing about the backwoods of New Hampshire that you love?
Oh, absolutely. It's the sunsets. Oh my God, the sunsets are absolutely amazing. They were tonight. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And the birds singing. So that was 2 things. Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful. Well, you look great. Thanks for being on the show,
Thank
Heather.
you.
We'll come back and talk to you in a little bit.
Awesome.
And next we have Jack. And Jack, where are you hailing from tonight?
Okay, hi everybody. I'm on the shores of Lake Lake Sonora, in the middle of the Sonoran Desert, in Tucson, Arizona, where the skies are blue, the sunsets are even better than New Hampshire, and the cactus is in full flower at the moment. It's too beautiful. That's where I'm at.
Beautiful.
That sounds fabulous.
I love it. We're going to have the battle of the sunsets.
No,
Boy.
it's already, lad.
If I was back in California, I'd be like, no, mine are better. So, okay. So next we are going to meet our wonderful friend, Mary Beth. Hey, Mary Beth, how are you?
Hey, Max. I'm wonderful tonight. Thanks.
Good. Tell us about what you're from Reno, right?
Reno, Nevada.
And what is it besides, I always think about Reno as the place where people used to go to get divorced.
Oh, God.
It's so funny. That's so old school, 1930s. But
Yeah.
what do you love about Reno?
I really have to say that the sunshine, because we have probably at least 300 plus days of sunshine a year, and I'm totally a sun person, so I love that. And I'm going to hop on the sunset thing because we have some amazing sky sunsets here. Amazing.
Can't be better than those of Arizona. No.
I'm going to argue with you, Jack.
Hey, you know what? That's a good idea. I think that I'm going to give all of you a challenge to everyone take a sunset from where you are, and we'll post the pictures, and we'll get the audience to decide which is the best one. Because I'm sure Alaska has pretty good ones, too.
We
So
do.
Yeah, who's next?
And happily, Angelica is. And Angelica, I know that you just hopped off a plane.
I did, basically. I've only been home for a few hours. How is everyone?
You look fabulous. So where are you right now?
I am chilling in my bedroom that is in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Awesome. So we're from all over the place.
That's right. And you know what? We have to introduce our newest member of the team. That is Trisha, and she's calling from New York. And Trisha, she just got here last week, and Trisha I've known for a while, and she's got a very special job or special role here in the cast. So, hey, Trisha.
Good. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
I know. I feel morning at this time. The way my day works, this is like the third time I've gotten to do something, so it really is like the third time around for me in one day. But I will cheerfully say New York sunsets are probably behind Reno, Arizona, and because half the time you can't see anything for the buildings. But anyway, it's still nice. And what I see my role as with everyone here is to talk about the process. You all look at the principal. You're all working with the principal. But sometimes you get tripped up, or there's something in your way, and what does that feel like, and how do you get over that? And I really enjoy reading everyone's blogs to kind of get some insight, and it triggers where I was when I went through that process, and how it's still going on maybe 3 years later on the same road. You know, we all have the same sort of rest stops. So.
Good. Well, you're a wonderful addition to the cast, and I know we're going to check back in with you later, Trisha, about your sister chats. You had your first sister chat last night, which went great. So you're going to report back about that a little bit later. So welcome and good morning.
Thank you.
All right. Let us talk about each week. As we said, we are now in our 5th week. So we have gone through 4 different positive principles that Polly and I have agreed are principles that really help to change your life. The first one is the architecture of your life, having a vision. The second one was love, and how love is working in your life, how you can apply love in your life. The third one was the massive action week, where it's about you have to move your butt to actually get things done on some level. And last week, what was our positive principle, Polly?
We are always teaching and learning. And so with all these concepts, these principles, we're learning them, but we're also teaching them. And so it was kind of a nice exercise for people to consciously stop and say, how are they learning and teaching throughout the day? And I have to say that, and then I shared this with Max earlier, I feel like I'm learning all the time, because it doesn't matter who I'm with. I mean, my kids, whoever, there's always something that makes me stop and pause and like, oh my goodness. And I have to just quickly tell you, one time I was working with some kids. Somebody asked me to, chit chat with their kids or whatever. And then they were talking about their mom. And I was like, oh my God, that is exactly how my kids view me. And it was like so eye-opening to work with other people and see how it, you can use it in your life. So it's so valuable. So Max, I know you had something this week that you experienced.
Yeah, this idea of you're always teaching and you're always learning, you could also couch that in that you're always the teacher and you're always the student in your life. And we talked about how you show up in your life, and as you however you show up in your life is what you're teaching other people. And we're always teaching people how to treat us. We're always teaching the universe how to treat us, all of that stuff. And it was interesting because this week I had I've come back to New York for a few weeks, and I sat down with a friend of mine who is one of my really good friends, and she wanted to teach me a new way of working with stocks and options and all of that. And traditionally in the past, when I worked with stocks or options or anything that has a number in it, I start to go la 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 la, and I start to think, oh my God, I'm never going to get this. And as I was sitting there and she was talking about this stuff, I literally was like, wow, here it is. This is one of the concepts, because with what I do, most of the time I am teaching. I've got a lot of different things I'm teaching with my coaching, with my videos, with when I'm writing. I'm teaching all the time. But I have to go, wait a second, sit back. You're the student now. And it was a different energy that I needed to be in, to be like, just absorb, just listen. Just listen. And so when the ego was coming in, going, oh my God, numbers, 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 I wasn't listening. I wasn't being a student. I was thinking, how am I going to do that? I just stopped and I listened. And as I just stopped, and it was all a very internal process, and I'm sure everyone out there can kind of relate to that, and I said, okay, wait a second. Absorb, listen, stop. And as I did that, my resistance went down and my learning went up. And I started to get what she was talking about. I let go. We're going to talk about this a little later. I let go of this story about my numbers, and I just was open. And as I was open, I started to get what she was talking about. And I started to really hear her and really see her and understand what was going on. So I think it's really valuable for all of us, because in this world, the world is always going to tell us, just pretend like you know. You know, you know, you know. But there's so much power. One of the lessons in the Course in Miracles is, I do not understand anything. And they say that really, and I think I've said this before, one of the highest order principles in a spiritual path is to say, I don't know. And when you say I don't know, you open up. So it was such a great story that I attracted to remind me that I'm always teaching and I'm always learning. Does that make sense, Holly?
Oh, absolutely. I love that story.
Yeah, it was really valuable, and I thought, I have to share that. I have to share that. So, yep. Okay, so let's move into talking to our cast again, okay?
Let's find out how they implemented the teaching and the learning this week.
Great. Okay. So, Heather, hi.
Hi, Max. Hi, everybody.
Great. So, you got this concept of teaching and learning, and I actually, since it was our first week of working
Yeah.
together, I actually was giving you a lot of things to learn. I know that. But
It was great.
tell me, how did you embody, or what did you have any experiences or challenges with this idea of teaching and learning?
You know, if anything, I think it was realizing just how being a student, again, a student of life again, it put the focus back on that as well as a teacher, and just being able to sort of look around me and see where all the lessons are coming, and there's so many of them. I love to my nieces who are 7 and 10 years old because their wisdom is so incredible that just, you know, my God, I have so much to learn from these little kids that are so wise and also wise asses. It's great. It's great. So, I mean, this is this wonderful combination. I'm going to be honest with you. It's great. It's absolutely great. So I think that was it, just really finding the wisdom as, you know, because it can, I don't know, that was huge for me, just being really present with being a student of life and learning. And also as far as teaching as well, being a teacher, and I really thought about that, and being a little more mindful about what I put out in the world as well, in that sort of teaching aspect. And, you know, sort of minding, we talked about minding vibration. Being a teacher and being a learner, I think really gives you that, I don't know, and being in that moment, you realize it's an excellent positive responsibility and opportunity to put good things out in the world and to also learn pretty amazing things. It was a pretty powerful week for me.
Good. I love that. I love that. And I love what you said about there are a million opportunities to learn all the time. And, you know, there's, you know, a lot of philosophies or any kind of path will say, you know, to at the end of your day to write down what was it that you learned, what was it that you gained from the day. That's a really powerful practice to get into, because I think a lot of us will just live our life and go on our day, and we won't take, and I believe a really good student and really good teaching is about assessment. So you assess, what did I learn? What did I take in? How am I a different person than I was yesterday? Right, Heather?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. No, and that's why it was so powerful. So thank you. Thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for being so open. I love it. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to that as many times as there is to learn, there's also just as many times to teach, because, you know, you have these younger nieces in your life, and say something happens that you're not really happy with, you know, and so instead of you like losing control, swearing, whatever, you have the opportunity to teach patience. You have the opportunity to teach, you know, all sorts of things. And so just as frequently as we have the opportunity to learn, we have the opportunity to teach. And it's not even necessarily the people that we know, but it's the people around us, because it's learning new ways of thinking and new ways of reacting. And so it's amazing.
I love it.
So now Jack. So Jack and I, this past week was the first time that we worked together. And I have to say, Jack is brilliant, so I can learn a lot from Jack. But Jack, what's something that you learned this week and something that you taught this week?
Well, as far as learning, I should have known it for years and years. I've known it. I've been told this. But, of course, the skeptic within me says, that's metaphysical stuff, which I love. Max said, involve everything, see everything as love. And I can't get into too much detail, but my bank balance has been having a little bit of an issue. And I'm sorry, there's sounds in the background. And so the other night, my bank has a very distinctive logo. I took my the bank's logo and I sent the bloody thing love. And do you know, yesterday I sat down with the bank manager, and without my saying so, the bank manager says to me, there's been a mistake. It's all been put off until next year. We can charge you this next year. The letter you got is all by mistake. Thank you, Max. I sent a bank manager now. It worked. I didn't believe it. I still don't believe it, but that's what the bank manager said. Well, the bank, not the bank manager, but the manager at the bank. Put it that way. So what did I teach? Well, I wrote the blog about kids and WANA and language and stuff. That's just the arrogance in me that needed to get out. I love teaching, but a lesson I could learn is to keep my mouth shut and to listen like Diane Rehm or someone who listens and then answers. So I'm listening.
I love that.
But I have to say, Jack, in the beginning of this week, so we had our coaching session on Wednesday. And then it was either Wednesday or Thursday, and you got mad at me. You didn't like some of the stuff that I was encouraging you to do. And so that was a lesson for both of us to see how we're going to work together, right?
Right, but I couldn't get mad at you, Polly. That's not possible. A little bit short. Be kind to me, Polly. A little bit on the short side. Let's put it that way.
It's all good because you know what? That's what makes it real. And I definitely, you know, in truth, I would think, okay, I'm going to be kind of the easier coach than Max. But in truth, there's an issue that I really want to work with you. And so I am probably going to push you on. Well, it's not I am going to push you on it. And so this is a good learning lesson for both you and I appreciate the opportunity for it.
Okay, thank you. But you're as hard as nails, Polly. Don't.
I love it. I have to say something really quickly. You know, first of all, we're stating the obvious here is that, Jack, you learned how to use love, and you learned that love actually does give you results.
Yes.
Yeah. Now could it increase a bit more? You know, I could increase the bank balance a bit more.
Stop. That's your ego. Stop the ego. Just say, you know what? That's it. And everyone listening, look at what Jack did. That's why I always ask people, when's the last time you used love intentionally in your life? When you use love intentionally, there will be incredible results that you could never put together, you could never figure out. And I have to read a text I just got from a friend of mine. Hold on. This friend of mine, Penny, says, "Oh my God, I love Jack." She said, "I sent the Bloody Bank love. Your show is so much fun." I just needed to say that. So great. So great. So listen, you know, we are teaching people right now by being ourselves. That is a huge thing that we need to remember. By being vulnerable, by being ourselves, by being truthful, we are teaching people. We are teaching all the time. So
you've got a point there, Max. You've got a point there.
Yeah, the more we try to be something else and we're not truthful, we're teaching something that's not authentic and not real. So it's good. I love it. All right. So next we are going to talk to Mary Beth. Hey, Mary Beth.
Hey, Max.
How are you?
Good.
Good. And we worked together for the first time, and we ended up talking a lot about love, right?
We did. We did.
We talked a lot about love, but we talked about teaching and learning and everything. So tell us your experience this week with this idea of teaching and learning.
Well, for me, it was kind of learning what you taught me this week about love. And we talked about a lot of things, but for me, it was about learning what you taught me, but actually teaching myself how to rethink and reapply those principles that I learned in my life.
Mm-hmm. And how was that process for you? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it what? I mean, I know it's always we're always in process, but let's talk about that.
Well, I think after our second conversation, it was like you just hit the nail on the head for me, and it just sunk in. I don't know, it was that aha moment that, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. I can think this way. I can apply these principles in my life. And so it was an aha moment, and it was just as simple as turning off the switch of how I was thinking before and turning on a more positive, loving switch. So, and then ever since we had that conversation, I have had so much peace. And that was, if you'll remember, one of the things that I was looking to do coming onto the show is getting more peace and joy in my life. So that has been my experience since the last time that we spoke. I've had so much peace, and I've just been applying all the principles that you taught me about the love, and we talked a lot about ego and writing stories and how our ego writes these stories that keep playing in our head. So I've really focused a lot on the fact that I don't have to keep owning those past stories. I can continue forward and make new stories that are positive and love-filled.
I love it. Good for you. I'm really proud of you because, let me just ask you this, and then we'll move on to Angelica. A lot of the stuff that you and I talked about, actually, there's stuff you sort of knew already, Mary Beth, right?
Right.
Right. So, but something shifted within you. I don't know if yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I think when we talked a lot about the ego is when things really shifted. And it's not that I didn't already know that my ego had a hold on my life a lot. It was just me taking control of it. I'm trying to think of how there just was this internal shift.
This is really important for everyone watching, Mary Beth, because I think it's big. So how are you controlling or dealing with your ego now different than you maybe did a few weeks ago or in your past?
I guess for the first time, I'm just convinced that those stories, they are the past. And so what I've been doing is living from moment to moment and living in the present and creating love and heaven in the moment. And I wrote a little bit about that in my blog. So
yeah, it's a great blog.
Thank you. I've been really focusing on not even thinking about the past at all, but just focusing on the here and now in this moment and creating and feeling that love right at this moment. And we talked about how all those moments that you are in the present, that you're creating that love, are adding up to what your future is going to be. So I'm just really, I guess the big shift is just I'm really focusing on the moment, living in the moment right now.
Good for you. Awesome. Good job, Mary Beth. I love it.
Thank
Yay! You. All right. Cool. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Holly?
Thank you.
And Mary Beth, I have to say I'm super excited for you because you were working really hard. And there's always something every week you have something that's kind of big has happened. So awesome work.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you. Good job.
So, Angelica, you worked really hard this week. You were kind of taken out of your normal place. And so how did you do some learning and some teaching? I know, anytime you're traveling and you're exploring, you're learning a lot. So tell us a little bit about that.
I definitely have to say, throughout my vacation, I was learning a lot of different things. I was learning more of the lifestyle out there. I got a lot of different advice from different people. I made a lot of different mini connections that haven't totally took off yet. But I was thankful I found them to begin with. But I have to say, overall, I learned that not everything's going to come so easy, especially when it comes to your dreams or if it's really your passion. It's not just going to boom come to you, It's sort of like I actually saw a picture on social media today that was interesting. It said dream big but focus small. Have the big dream up here but do the little things one step at a time, And I think that's where I get frustrated because it hasn't happened yet. I'm just oh my God, and I need to just stop that. So I think that's what I've learned.
So just so everybody's clear on what was taking place, you are a makeup artist and you really want to go and work in Vegas. and you have the talent to do so, but it's a big deal to move across the country and start up a new lifestyle. So, you know, that's a big transition for anybody. So you went there kind of scoping things out. And so some things happened that were unexpected, you know, that you thought things would be a little bit easier. But you also had some really good things that happened. You know, there were people that kind of took you under their wing. Yep. And share us a little bit about that.
Well, I have to say, like, I didn't have too much time to apply, but the couple places that I did, this one hotel and casino that I actually really want to work, I like have one of my like small part-time jobs to help, you know, pay my bills. I went there, and every person I ran into was like beyond helpful and pleasant. Like, it was just really, I was just like, I just got such a good vibe from the place. You know what I mean? Like, from the security guard directing me where to go, to like to help me get to the employment office, to like the taxi guy, and then even like I met bartenders later on when I went, you know, partying there one night. Everyone was just so pleasant. I was just like, I like it here. You know, I really do. And then even I also went to apply to MAC Cosmetics, and in there, like, the girls were just so helpful. I was asking them, like, oh, like, how's the interview process? How's this? How's that? And they were just beyond helpful, giving me all this information. And the manager was also really great and nice, too.
So those are huge things. I mean, those are like, you should write that, and I know I asked you to write that down. Those are huge yeses that you're in the right place. You know, that you follow your intuition, that's where you wanted to go, and you went there and you had really good experiences. And then the other thing that we worked on is coming up with a plan. Because it's kind of like you know, you can imagine yourself going off to graduate school or, you know, whatever. Yeah. You know what you want, and you went there, it was a good fit, right? And now you got to make your plan. And you had, I mean, you really had some amazing things where the universe was telling you, yes, this is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weird part is even when certain things didn't go my way, it was really odd, like, when I would just, like, walk the street or walk the strip and, like, go, like, sightseeing and see certain things, like, I still had this sense of, like, ease. Like, I still had this sense where it felt good to be there. Yeah. Like, it was really, like, it was odd, but, like, good, if that makes any sense.
No, it totally does. And that's one of the things that I so fully believe in is you have to, when there's something that you want, you have to connect to that feeling. It's that feeling that's going to get you there. And so it's fabulous that you had some good experiences. You have that feeling. And so, you know, I know you took pictures and stuff. You have to be able to connect to that feeling, and that is going to pull you forward to where you want to go. So you had some fabulous experiences. Did you have the opportunity where you felt like you were teaching anybody? You taught me.
I did?
Well, sure, because you know what? We're at a different age level here. And so it was really interesting to step back and see what you're going through. Yeah. And so, yeah, I learned from everybody. But who else did you teach?
I would have to say I didn't specifically teach anyone. I also, like, although I taught you, but I would just like to say I'd like to, forever who's watching the show and anybody out there, like, in my life, like, I would like to just teach them that, like, no matter what, just, like, keep going and don't give up and to keep moving forward. And I want to be that example.
Awesome. That's fabulous. Excellent. Okay. Thank you.
Good job, Angelica. I want to put a little line under this teaching and learning thing, is that it's not always that we're actually teaching somebody something. It is that literally it's the universe, God, whatever you call it, is this blank slate of energy. It's just energy that's going, which way do I go? What do I do? What do I do? It's just waiting. And what it's waiting for us to have a clear vision. It's waiting for us to show up a certain way. So the way, like, for instance, what you taught the universe, Angelica, during this trip is you walking through that experience with peace and all of that is teaching the universe to give you more experiences where you can feel more peaceful, where you can walk through with confidence. Does that make sense, Angelica?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we are creating, you know, one of my favorite teachers is Neville Goddard, and he literally says that God is your imagination, meaning that our imagination is what is creating every single thing in our life. So we're teaching, we are literally teaching everything to happen to us. In A Course in Miracles, it would say that this world is a blank slate. This world is just like, almost like you're sitting in a movie theater, but our thoughts and our vibrations are the movies, the projector that is generated here, and then it creates your life. So you're teaching the universe how to create on your behalf, positive, negative, or in between, right?
Right.
Right, very good. I love that. Love that. And that is really our point of power. Say yes if you understand that, everyone.
Yes.
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 It's our point of power. You know, when we are clear about who we are and how we're going to stand in the world and what we are going to be, then people, situations in the world react and give us the results based on what we are. That's how we're teaching, more than when, and on some level, than we're really actually teaching people. Okay? Just want to put a line under that. Polly, do you have anything to say about that before we move on?
I do, because, and this leads into our next question, is that it's also important to remember, like right now, Angelica has this, you know, something that she's really working towards, and it involves a big move across this, you know, the United States. But we all have something that we're working towards, right? I mean, and that's being healthy. We all have something that we're, you know, maybe we want to have a clearer understanding of something. It doesn't matter what it is, but we all, I mean, part of being healthy is having a passion about something. And so, you know, so sometimes people think, okay, there's this, you know, like I want more money in my bank account or whatever. But it's having this passion about something that's pulling you forward. And it's, you know, being passionate about life.
Right.
And that thing is being really pay attention to, like, the feelings that you have towards that. Like Angelica had very positive feelings at the two places she's interested in working in, and she noted she felt good there. And so, you know, so if you want the positive outcome in your bank account, you note you feel good there. You know, you be passionate about feeling good there, right?
Right.
So.
Totally. And you know, it's interesting, you know, when we talk about passion, that I heard something really beautiful from Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love once. She said, you know, sometimes you can't generate the feeling of passion. Sometimes you just can't, you know, it's just not there. But you can always generate the feeling of curiosity about something. So follow your curiosity. Follow, because your curiosity is kind of the seed of your passion, actually. What you're curious about actually somehow has relating to passion in your life. Okay? So next, we're going to have a couple quick questions here. We got 20 minutes here. So we're going to ask the whole cast a couple questions, and then we're going to come to Tricia. So let's just move right into this. So we wanted to ask all of you before we move on is, what is your big dream? We talked about this at the beginning, and I don't want you to spend a lot of time as we talk to each of you, because this is a two-part question. It's a what? It's a
Two-part question.
So I want you, when we ask you this, when I ask, you know, Heather and Mary Beth, I want you to just to be brief. What's your big dream? Okay, and when all of us are going to say it, so you're going to want your big dream, and then we're going to have a follow-up question to that. So Heather, in a sentence or two, can you tell us what is your big dream?
To be a singer, songwriter, and yeah, that's my big dream.
Okay. All right, good, thank you. Great.
You're welcome.
Sure.
Jack, what is your big dream?
There are about 4 or 5 of them. Number 1 is to rise to a higher level of consciousness. Number 2, to follow Angelica's example to build on the law of attraction that Angelica found, and to launch the Jack Chat show as Max has guided me. Those are two
Awesome.
major ones at the moment.
Love it. Love it.
Love
Great.
it. Excellent.
And Mary Beth, what's your big dream?
I don't have a specific dream per se right now, other than waking up every day and being passionate about waking up every day.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's the dream.
Good.
Cool. Thank you.
And Angelica, what's your big dream?
If not a celebrity makeup artist, I just want to be that makeup artist you go to when you want to feel good and you want to look beautiful. I want to be that person that, like, wow, like, I want to go to her.
Awesome. That's fabulous. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Now, this is a two-part question, so think about what you said before, and now you can talk a little bit more, just a little bit more, and in answering this question, think about your big dream of what you just said. Now, we want to know, why do you want that dream? What are you telling yourself about that dream? Why do you want that dream? Heather?
I'm telling myself about that dream because from the moment I was born, that's what I feel I'm meant to be. Okay.
Anything else?
Boy, it's so visceral. It's why do I want this? It's just because it's me. I think it's because it's probably the most divine expression of me as an individual that I can get to is through music. Okay, so that's probably the truest answer I've got. That's what feels. That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I love it.
That's fabulous.
Thank you. Thank
Cool.
you.
Those are great. I love that. Good.
Okay, Jack, why do you have this dream? I'm going to go to the part of the Jack Chat show, which you can share briefly what that is, and why do you have that dream?
Because of the 3 questions I encountered in my near-death experience, because of a talk I gave at the University of Arizona back in the summertime, and and as Max has guided me to develop the Jack Chat show, which is my attempt at helping others understand what lies after the spirit transforms to the other side, to a death consciousness or heaven or whatever you want to call it on the other side. And I'm hoping that I can get questions from the audience, even now, to jackchatnde@gmail. You're welcome to send me any questions within reason. Within reason, you're welcome to send me questions regarding death and the near-death experience. But Einstein came up with this thing that all he wanted to do was to know the mind of God, and the rest is details. Well, all I want to do is to merge again with the mind of God. As far as I'm concerned, the rest is details.
Beautiful. So what I'm going to request, because we would love to have people interact with Jack. I'm sure people want to know what happens after this experience. But please send the emails to our website, to the Positive Principle Show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
Well, everyone, I'll tell you that after the show, I will put a blog specifically with your question on Jack's blog page, and then you can all put comments about your questions about the death experience. Okay, everyone?
Beautiful.
Many thanks.
Sure. All right. Mary Beth, why is it? Tell us why you are wanting this sense of peace, and why is it that you want this big dream?
Just because I want to have a sense of purpose in my life, and I don't feel like I have that right now. So, and we talked in the beginning about having a vision, and I just think that I haven't figured out what that vision is yet for my life as far as the passion and everything. So I don't really have an answer because I don't really know yet what that vision is for myself.
Okay. I love it. Thank you. I thank you for your authenticity and your honesty. It's great. I love it. That's all we need. Okay.
Angelica, so this is a good question for you because I know a little bit about how you got involved in makeup, but I don't know how you fell in love with it. So why is this your dream?
Honestly, ever since I was 10 years old, I was 10 and I knew, like, Christmas morning, I woke up, opened up all my gifts, got this little rectangle wrapped gift, ripped it open, and it was Bobby Brown's book to the Teenage Beauty. And ever since then, rest is history. It blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, like, you could do that for a living and make money? I was like, because, like, you know, when you grow up when you're little, you're like, vet, doctor, lawyer, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't think of something so outside the box. And, like, it blew my mind. And the rest is history. I knew since then that's what I wanted to do.
I love that. I love your passion for it. And that is why, I mean, you're going to get there. And I love that you are thinking outside the box and that you're giving yourself permission for that. And you have that passion. And you can thank your parents for giving you that book.
Yep.
That's awesome.
All meant to be. I love it. Great. Okay, so we just asked you a series of 2 questions. What's your big dream and why? Now, our positive principle for this week is really important. Mary Beth already touched on it, and actually Mary Beth and I have been talking a lot about this during our sessions already. But one of the most important things is what story you're telling yourself. I just wrote a whole bunch of notes here about your story. You know, Heather has a whole story about from the moment I was born, I had this thing, and the divine. Another story she's telling herself about her dream is it's the best way for her to experience or express the divine through music. That's a story that she's telling herself. It's the truth and it's fine, but it's still a story. What is it?
It's a story.
It's a story. And Jack had a story about, you know, about his story is about what he wants is to help people to understand about near-death experiences, and that you have a story about this is going to be your attempt at helping people, right? And then Mary Beth, you know, it's so interesting because if you look at this, Mary Beth said, well, I don't really know why. I don't really have a story. I don't know why. But you really do, because you said your story is, I don't have a sense of purpose right now and I have to figure out what that purpose is. That's a story. That's a story. So that story is going on in your head, and everyone's got a story going. And we're not cutting anyone down. I have stories going on through my head, and then Angelica had the whole story about the Bobby Brown story and about how that ignited her passion. It's so important that we understand that the story is our thoughts that are happening, we're saying over and over, that are creating our beliefs. This story that we have going on is creating our what? Our
Beliefs.
And your beliefs are creating your results. Your beliefs are creating your
Results.
So right here, most of this was like either neutral or positive kind of stories. But this week, and I want everyone out there to really look at this, because I even put a poll up this week about what is the story that you're telling yourself that's keeping you stuck? Because we all have it. It could be in your finances. It could be like only other people. This is a story. A story is that only beautiful people get a lot of money. The story is I don't live in the right place to attract money. The story is I didn't get the right education to attract money. The story is that the story is, of course, money's always coming and it's always falling into my lap. That's another story. And so we want to look at our stories, and some stories are serving us and some stories are keeping us stuck. Mm-hmm. Keeping us what? Stuck. So this week, Polly and I are all about helping you to identify what stories are keeping you stuck and changing your story. Because I guarantee you that if you are stuck in any area in your life and you look at the story you're telling yourself, it is not helping you. It's not helping you. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Right. Polly, go ahead.
Okay, I really want to say it's important to realize that a lot of these stories are from your childhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the basis of them. And it can even be into your current, perhaps your spouse or your boyfriend, whatever, tells you something repeatedly. That's another thing. It's, more people telling some story to you. And so you have to take the time to see what story fits for you, what feels right, and let go of the other things. And I have to say also, everything that we're going through, people are going to realize it's just so important to take the time to realize what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And you're going to come up in this week with these stories. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to come up with, and you're going to say, this is not serving me. This does not work for me. And once you realize that, you're going to notice your life changing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So this week is all about identifying stories that aren't working, and what we say in kind of coaching is reframing them, changing them so that they do work for you. So this whole positive principle this week is, what story are you telling yourselves, and how can you change it? This is one of the greatest benefits of having a coach, because a coach can listen to you and go, there's your story. Do you want to hold on to that story? Or do you want to change it? Because if you change it, your results will change. All right? Good. Now, so everyone clear on what your positive principle is? Say yes if you're clear.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Now we're going to, Tricia, thank you so much for hanging out and listening, and I'm sure you're taking notes on everyone. So, Tricia, this week you had your first sister chat with Heather. Can you tell us about how that was and and talk about teaching and learning? I mean, Heather, both of you can talk about it, but Tricia, can you clue us in about that?
Well, with Heather and I have a thing in common in our past of depression with a lot of psychotherapy, and what we were focusing on is the way that psychotherapy can be very, very helpful, but it's your way of interacting in the world. And in a way, you are looking at some old stories that have gone all the way from early childhood and how it's still playing out, and identifying those patterns, and it can be very, very helpful. However, it's more ego-based on how your ego is doing as opposed to spirit. So what is the difference between focusing on spirit and getting to be who you want to be so that you go where you want to go? I think that sums it up. Yeah. We had a good time. We were like, yak, 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 yak for 45 minutes practically, and so I'm like, what do we say?
It's good. Your role is to be a sounding board for the cast, and so it's just a conversation. It's a sister chat. It's a hangout, and if anyone wants to watch it, you can go to Tricia's blog on the Positive Principles show. But Heather, do you want to say anything about your conversation with Tricia? Heather, are you there? Did you freeze?
I think she froze.
Oh, we lost Heather. That's okay. Anything else you want to say about that before we talk about?
Me?
Yeah.
Me. I think what's really fun about the sister chats is that we just sort of started, and then the conversation evolved based around the principle where you were working on last week, and also with my knowledge about where we're going, and that was cool. It was just a very casual, friendly, easygoing sort of way to examine something that can seem a little overwhelming when you've heard of that. Today's your massive action day, man. It's like, holy cow. You can talk about it in a relaxed kind of way.
I love it. Great. So as the weeks go on, everyone, just so you know, there will be a chat with each of the cast members each week, and we will try to send out, it was sort of last minute this week, but we'll try to send that out. Do we know who we're going to be talking to with the sister chat next?
Mary Beth. Saturday, right? Are we
Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So everyone go to the Positive Principles show, and on Tricia's blog, you can watch it live, and we'll try to send out a big blast for everyone so you can watch it live, or you can watch the recording. Heather, are you back? Let's see, she's trying to get through. Okay. All right. So that is our show for this week. Anything that we want to talk about before we do our little wrap up at the end? Polly, do you want to talk about anything that you're offering our
Sure.
audience today? Yeah.
I find myself right now really busy, but if somebody contacts me for a free mini reading, which I'll do, and I'll do those over the phone, that will give them 20% off a regular reading. The regular reading, which takes about an hour, I will have to push the date back about 2 weeks or so because I'm booked right now. But I love doing readings, love talking to people.
Great, awesome. So how will they do that? Just go to
Thank you. So my website is Gateways to Peace. So that's like Max said earlier, it's the number 2, that like the numeral number 2, gateways-to-peace.com.
Great. So send you a contact there, right?
Yeah, if you go to the website, it'll say contact, and then it comes to me.
Awesome. Good.
Thank you.
I wanted to offer all the audience members for the next 3 days, if you book in the next 3 days and you go to attractpositiveresults.com, and I don't talk about this much here, but I am an intuitive also, and I do readings. I've been in New York doing readings the last few days, and it's just been great. So I would like to offer people, if they would like a full reading with me on Skype or on the phone, or if you're in New York, half off a reading. So that's $75 off a reading. So if you would like a reading with me, then please go to Attract Positive Results, go to the contact page, and say half off reading, and I will get back to you. It's only going to be until, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, until Friday. Everything else after that, you'll have to pay the full price, okay? All right, so that's what we got going, and we will be back again next week, same time, same channel, right, Polly?
Absolutely, and I have to say, I do love working with Max, but Max is fabulous, and he's fabulous with the cards. It's really fun.
Yeah, that's how we met. That's how Polly and I met. I used to do readings, so. Great. So everyone, remember, go to thepositiveprincipleshow.com and you can get the, I didn't tell you, the viewer resource this week, if you go there, I am giving you a 20-minute audio about changing and telling your new story. And that is something that I sell on my website that is for free for all of you. So go to the viewer resources on the Positive Principle Show. And then also take our polls, email us, sign up for everything. And please leave comments for the show below this, below our whatever it is what we're doing right now. So there's comments and whatever, okay? Anything you want to say before we go, Polly?
I just appreciate everybody taking the time to join us, and I really do love the feedback. So thank you.
Yeah.
Me too. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you, Cass. Say bye.
Bye.
All right, so we'll see you next week. Remember, 4 people.
8 weeks.
Changing lives. See you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.